Dismayed, the elf's nose crinkled noiselessly, glinting in the sunset, purple as a stubbed toe.
What's purple, the nose or the sunset?
I don't know anymore. And who cares how his nose reacted? I hate this.
Hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. So part 2 of Disenchantment is finally out, and I felt I just had to make a video on it. Why? Because jumping on the bandwagon, that's why. I binge watched this season and thought it was okay. I enjoyed it more than the first 6 episodes of part 1, but not the final 3 episodes. There were a couple of episodes, however, that stuck out to me. Some I just thought were fun to watch, like the Dreamland job, but the episode we're going to be talking about today hit me in a more personal way. The one I'm referring to is episode 8, In Her Own Right. In this episode, Bean is dealing with lingering mental thoughts about what happened with her parents, so much so that she's getting nightmares. In order to relieve herself of this stress, she tries to find an artistic outlet for her frustration, and that outlet happens to be writing. This episode stuck out to me personally because it discusses several topics of art and what it does to both people and society. The first topic it addresses is how artists come to be. People tend to make art because they come across an emotion or thought they want to express and are looking for a way to do that. Bean demonstrates this perfectly. She has talks with Zog about the nightmare she's having, who gives her some actually good advice.
You can't escape your dreams, but you can stop a nightmare if you work through the issues causing it.
Despite this advice, however, Bean doesn't know what to actually do to address the problem. She tries to head to Lucy's bar to drink away the pain, but it's already closed. So, in the dead of night, she proceeds to go to the only place open, a coffee shop. It's here that the character Mary explains what Bean should do in order to relieve herself.
But me, I just keep having these nightmares.
Because you're bottling up your feelings, dig?
What else can I do?
Express them. What do you do for fun?
Another topic about art that is discussed is exactly what it is. I've had many conversations with people who don't know how exactly to define art. Disenchantment gives an answer that could be elaborated on more, but still one I agree with. It's any craft meant to express oneself.
I am open to your suggestions.
Well, there's art, music, wearing weird clothes you make yourself. This is Judy, by the way.
Sup?
Basically, anything that lets you work through feelings and heal. You know, creativity.
It's a little confusing because Mary literally says the word art, but I think most would agree that she means traditional art like drawing or painting. The conclusion of her statement, however, is that art can be anything. It could be a drawing of a character you like, a dance of an emotion you feel, or a YouTube video of a cartoon you want to talk about. As long as it is crafted and meant to express oneself, it is art. And then there's the question of who can be an artist. Bean believes that pursuing an art isn't for her because she doesn't have any talents.
This is all really impressive, but I don't have any talent, so...
Do you have hands?
Yeah.
Can you hold a pen?
Yeah.
Then you're a writer.
Admittedly, I was a little salty about that line since I consider myself a writer, but it gets across a message I've been trying to share for years now. It's so common for someone to want to pursue an art, but then doubt themselves because they don't think they're worthy of being in a museum or being on the front page of DeviantArt. That's not at all what you need to get going. Art isn't like engineering in that you need to have specific knowledge and skill set in order to successfully do it. Anyone can art. Certainly with time and practice you can improve on your artistry, and it does take skill to master a specific type of art. But once a craft is made, no one can say it isn't art. Except abstract art. And it knows why. So Bean decides to become a writer, and her process feels all too real for me. Struggling time and again to get the perfect words down. Writing good sounding words, but they don't get the point she wants to make. All the while, her literal demon nags at her every step of the way.
Wow, you gotta read this guy's story. It's a lot like yours, but better.
Eventually, Lucy suggests that Bean should write a play, and it's here that Bean finds the exact outlet she was looking for to get the expression down. Legit, the few lines I heard from the play, I was honestly intrigued. I felt they greatly captured the mindsets of Bean's parents, even though what they were saying was completely different from what was said in that episode.
Thou art but one fallen horseman in a grand battle. To fall in battle is merely one death.
Sadly, due to factors beyond her control, Bean's play is never allowed to truly see the light of day. It's stolen from her and is made a mockery of. This gives Bean even more emotions to deal with. The thing she was trying to get out of her system, trying to share with others, is being rejected and altered due to unfair factors. So what does she do? Well, she can't perform the play, but she can still express herself. And express herself she does.
Because whenever I fall asleep, it's nightmares about my evil mom. Turns out, Una was the cool one. You never appreciate your lizard stepmom until she becomes a sexy pirate, am I right?
Bean goes up on stage and simply monologues. It's not a poem, it's not a comedy act, it's just Bean talking to a crowd. The important part of the art was never the play. It was never the acting, it was never the writing, it was never even the words. It was that Bean needed to work through what was on the inside. And it's here that she's able to do that in front of a small crowd of people. Some understand, some don't, some agree, some don't. But she's able to get it all out there. And in the midst of doing this, she learns more about herself.
Dagmar was a liar. My whole life, I just wanted her to be there, but it turns out the best mothering I ever got was from a fat guy with a red mustache. My dad was right. You can't escape your dreams. But when I fall asleep tonight, whatever happens, I'm gonna fight back.
This has been Shady Doorags. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
Here I go. When I was young, I overheard a conversation between my father and... What's wrong with it?
Nothing's wrong with it, really, other than, just being bad.
All this writing, I just want to say what happened.